Good morning, students. Today I want to teach you a poem which title is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. The poem has been composed by Stephen Spender. Is my second poem of class 12 CBSE board. I want to tell you something related to Stephen Spender. His full name was Sir Stephen Harold Spender. Sir Stephen Harold Spender was an English poet, critic, novelist, and essayist who had written or composed on social injustice and the class struggle in his work, especially on downtrodden, you can say that. He was appointed poet laureate, consultant in poetry, and his life period is 1909 to 1995. The poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, was published in 1964 in Stephen Spender's Selected Poems. It is a very famous poem. The poet hints at two worlds. In the given poem, he hints about two worlds: the world of poverty, a world about poverty, the world of poverty, misery, malnutrition of the slums, and others of the rich who don't care about others. The author describes the situation of the students of an elementary school. It is the best example of Spender's political views. Let's start with the poem. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting a father's Ned's disease, his lesson from his desk at back of the dim class. One unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrels' game into room. Other than this, here in this given stanza, the poet Spender describes the children who study in an elementary school, which is situated in a slum area. He says that the faces of children are dull and without any energy. They are not full of energy like other kids of their age. They are dull. They are not full of energy. These children are compared to unwanted weed. The children are far away from the winds, from the nature, from the sea waves. According to him, their world is instead full of extreme poverty and harsh realities. These children appear with a dull and lifeless. As dull and lifeless, they appeared. They have pale faces and their hair is unkempt and seemed like rootless. They seem like rootless weeds, unwanted plants, like unwanted plants. Their hair is kept falling all over their faces, making them look like rootless weeds. Weeds are unwanted in a garden. Weeds are a plant, unwanted plant in a garden. In the classroom, there is a tall girl who is sitting there is depressed. Depressed may be due to extreme poverty, family issues, or physical exhaustion. There is another boy who is sitting in the corner. He is very thin, almost like paper seeming boy. Undoubtedly due to malnutrition. He is malnutrited. He has bulging eyes like the eyes of rat. And it seems that he always wants food. He always wants food and security. There are so many students who inherit twisted bones of his parents. The boy, paper seeming boy, has no enthusiasm and has his father's naughty disease. He got disease in heredity. There was also a sweet and young boy. Sits at the back of the dark room. The class was dim classroom. There was no proper air ventilation or light. Who is sitting at the back classroom and dreaming of a squirrel's game. He wanted to go outside. He wants to go outside and want to play with a squirrel. He would have preferred to be out of this classroom. He wants to go outside in open. This situation suggests of the dull atmosphere in the classroom, which fails to attract this young and sweet boy. Second stanza. On shower cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities. Bells, flowery, Tyrolese Valley, open-handed map awarding the world its word. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world. Where all their futures painted in a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far from rivers, caves, and stars of worlds. The names of the people who donated to the school and the Shakespeare's head was hung on the unpleasant creamy walls of the school. The color of the wall is sour cream. This means the walls are not so clean. They are unless for the children. There are other pictures hung on the wall too. Paintings also hung there. The things, the donated items, represent the world of the rich and prosperous. The Pictures of domes of big cities represent the quality of life in those cities. The early morning sky is shown as cloudless in another picture, in which the sun is rising at the horizon and is semi-circle like a dome shape. It seems to be behind all the cities. There is a picture of the famous Tyrolese Valley, which is situated in Austria, which has beautiful flowers. The map of this world is made and reshaped by those in power, like dictators, kings, queens. They partitions it apart and impose their world on others. So the world depicted on these walls is not the world of these children. Their world does not contain huge domes or prosperity, beauty of the nature, such type of valleys and pictures which presented in the pictures. You can say the world painted in the pictures is meaningless for them. Their own dirty and unpleasant surroundings from their own world. Their world is only what they see out of the window of the classroom, the slum. Their future, the future of the students of this classroom, of this school, is full of darkness. Their future is compared to a narrow street, which means that there is no wide scope available for their future growth. They have minimum opportunities in their life. These children, the poet again says that their world is very far away from the actual world of rivers and caves, the actual world of the rich. These things for them are like stars in the sky which they can't touch. Very far. These children are far away from the radiant light of knowledge and education. They are very far from the actual education, the actual purpose of the school, very far from the actual classroom. Students, we will meet in another video with the second part of the poem, the rest part of the poem. Thank you. Have a nice day.